What's going on, everyone? So, by now, all of you are fully aware that the Lakers are a deep, talented roster, and Rob Pelinka really did his thing. Rob Pelinka absolutely cooked this offseason and really put together a nice, sizable, just versatile roster that I really think is going to be able to contend and has a real shot at winning the NBA championship. There's not many teams in the league that I look at and go, man, like the Lakers are going to have trouble with them. This is a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals with the core players. That's good, right? And building chemistry, building camaraderie, having an understanding with each other. And now they'll have a full training camp, full offseason, and then be able to integrate some of the new guys. But another thing that they got is some more three-point shooting, right? And like Taurean Prince, even Gabe Vincent can be a solid three-point shooter. Cam Reddish has his moments, right? He can be a little hot and cold at times. But they added those guys to already several really good three-point shooting guys, not to mention guys that you'd imagine are going to improve, right? And last year, the Lakers were 27th, 26th. They were like 0.1% away from the San Antonio Spurs, and they were 34.4% from three, right? That's not great, right? Ranked 27th, that's not very good at all. But the year that they won the NBA championship in 2020, they were ranked 26th in the league, and they were able to get through it, right? And they did that on the back of their defense, their ability to score inside, right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis, obviously. And that's kind of what this roster looks at, right? You have Anthony Davis, LeBron James. You got guys that can get to the basket, create their own shots, that can score at three levels, all of that. But you have multiple guys that are 38 to 40% from three now. Now, I'm not saying that the Lakers are going to be, top 5 in three-point percentage this year, but I wouldn't be shocked if they are like in the middle of the pack at least, which would be really good. Like that's a big improvement from last year to this year. And you got to keep in mind also the Lakers got all of their shooters and like D'Angelo Russell, and then Austin Reeves really emerged into a bigger role and was getting more opportunity and stuff like that. They got that at the trade deadline, right? So the team previously had a bunch of guys that couldn't shoot at all, and obviously there's also the Lakers like 3-point curse, right? Where it's like guys come here like Malik Beasley. It's like he's probably gonna light the world on fire with the Milwaukee Bucks and just be lights out. But with us, the guy became unplayable. And it's just like, dude, he like led the league in threes made off the bench. He was like third in the NBA and three-pointers made, all of that. And it's like now he can't even like buy a bucket. It's just like, come on, man, you got to be kidding me, right? But this Lakers roster, again, you look at like the core three guys, right? Austin Reeves, 40% three-point shooter, super efficient, super effective. He's doing it with Team USA. You can probably bet good money that Austin Reeves is going to be somewhere in the 38 to 40% from three. D'Angelo Russell was 42% from three, right, when he came to the Lakers. Even if he's not 42%, can he just be like 40% or 38%? Right now you have two guys that legitimately can be 38 to 40% this upcoming season, who are going to take a good majority of the threes, most likely, right? Austin Reeves is going to have a much bigger role than he did for a majority of the season last year, which means he's going to get more shot attempts, which means he's going to get more three-point attempts, right? Same thing with D'Lo. You're going to have a full season with D'Lo, or, we'll see if they trade him at the trade deadline, but you'll have a good majority of the season at least with D'Lo. And if he shoots anywhere like he did last year in the regular season, then he's a guy that's going to get, 5-6 three-point attempts, shooting 40%, right? Like, those two guys are going to be big three-point shooters for the Lakers. Rui Hachimura was like 60% or 55% from three in the playoffs. He was rough during the regular season, but Phil Handy worked on his shot, helped him kind of fix that little hitch in his shot, especially from the three-point range, and we saw it translate towards the end of the season and then into the playoffs. So if that carries over, again, not saying he has to be 40% or anything like that, but can he be, 36 to 38%, right? That's above league average. Now, all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, hang on, time out. Like, we got our core three guys. There you go, right? Like, that's solid. Will LeBron be as bad as he was last year? I mean, LeBron was like atrocious, right? I mean, LeBron's always been a streaky three-point shooter, but it was just like he never gotten a hot streak. He had like a game here and there, but usually it's like, he'll have like 10 games where he shoots 20% from three, and then he'll have a 10 game stretch where he shoots like 45% from three. And then it just kind of balances out to 36%. Right? If he can get back to being like 36%, that'd be nice. Can Anthony Davis, especially if he wants to play power forward more, right? Can he get to, 35, 36% from a center? Right? You start looking across the board and you're like, wait a minute, like these guys could end up being 36% from three. Which, if they were 36% from three, that would put them with like Sacramento last year. Sacramento was 36.3%. Chicago was ranked 16th, and they were 35.9%. So, again, middle of the pack. Not saying they have to be elite, not saying they have to be lights out, not saying they have to be, one of the top 3-point percentage teams. Like last year, Philadelphia was number one at 38%. Then you had the Clippers and Warriors at 37.9%, and Denver was 37.8%. Those were the top four. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to be that, or they have to be that. But the Lakers are also better defensively than all those teams. So if they're 36% from three, then they're going to more than make up for it, right? And then you add a guy in Taurean Prince who's a 38 to 40% three-point shooter. The last 3 years, he's been 38 to 40% three-point shooter. So if he can just be his average, right, which is 38%, again, now you start looking at it and you're like, wait, so you got D'Lo, you got Reeves, you got Rui, you got hopefully LeBron can shoot, 36%, like I said. You got Taurean Prince, 38%. Even if you remove LeBron, right? If LeBron is a high-volume three-point shooter and he's shooting 20%, that's going to put our percentage down. I mean, that's one of the big reasons the Lakers were 27th in three-point percentage last year, is because LeBron was so bad from three and he was averaging like 8 3 attempts per game. Like, that's usually not good, right? But even with that, you have so many other shooters now. And so you're not only sizable, you're not only very likely going to be the best defense team in the league, you're also not going to have a problem scoring. Like, I really believe the Lakers will be top 5 in offense, and they'll be number 1 defense. At worst, top 3 defense. They'll be in the top 5 in both, right? Which means that they would be one of not the best teams in the entire league. Like, for perspective, the Boston Celtics were the only team in the NBA last year that were top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense. And, there you go, right? They were one of the best teams in the league and were in the conference finals. That would be the Lakers, right? Same thing last year. And so you have a team that I really do believe can average 120 points per game, which would be the best offensive team, which would be number 1 offensively, because last year Sacramento was number 1, and they were just under 121 points per game. And for those that are like, there's no way the Lakers are averaging 120 points, the Lakers last year averaged 116. You don't think that they could average 4 more points this season with a full season of Austin Reeves, the Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura? Like, you don't think they could average 4 more points than they did last year, right? Like, you're talking about like a team that could end up being top 3 in offense, or maybe even number 1 in offense and defense, right? Like, I wouldn't be shocked or surprised at all. And, you got other, you just go down the list. It's like Gabe Vincent. He shot poorly for Miami last year in the regular season, but the playoffs, he was back to 38, 39%. This guy's a career, 38% three-point shooter, right? So if he can just get back to average, just be 38%, there's another guy. Add that to the list. Like, even if, like, remove LeBron, right? Just put it at the main guys that are going to be shooting threes, right? Because even Anthony Davis, I don't think is going to be shooting a bunch of threes, right? So you're talking Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura, right? D'Angelo Russell, and then Taurean Prince, right? You're looking pretty good. And you also have Max Christie, the Lakers want to kind of thrust him into a bigger role. He shot 42% last year. It was a small sample size. He only shot like 1.5 threes a game or whatever. But, can he shoot, again, 38%? Now you're looking at like 6, 7 guys that are shooting 38 to 40%. And Jared Vanderbilt has been grinding and working hard on his three-point shot and really just putting in the time, energy, and effort to try to really develop into just a reasonable three-point shooter. I'm not saying he has to shoot 40%. Can he just shoot like 36 to 37%? Right? Like to where he's respectable. You start averaging all of this out and you're like, oh wait, the Lakers are 37% from three. Like, wait a minute. That would put them in the top 8 in three-point percentage. Dallas was number 8 last year in three-point percentage, and they were 37.1%. Milwaukee was 9th at 36.9. So if they can get to high 30s or high 36 to 37%, they're top 10 in three-point percentage. And it's really not that far-fetched. How likely is it? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much LeBron chucks up and like how well he shoots it. Because if LeBron does shoot like 8 threes a game next year, but he's shooting like 36%, right? Like, then the Lakers are going to be really good, right? But if LeBron's shooting, 8 threes a game and he's 20%, and even if everyone else is 40%, right? Like, let's say all 7 other guys are 40%, the Lakers are still going to be like 25th in three-point percentage. So it just depends. It depends on who's shooting the volume, how many threes, like, whatnot, because all of those things get factored in. But I actually think the Lakers might surprise a lot of people from 3 this year. I really do. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Lakers can get into the top 10? Do you think that they'll probably be middle of the pack, like, 15 to, 20, somewhere in that ballpark? Or do you think that they'll be terrible from 3 again? I would feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. Let me know down